Zara had always dreamed of escape. The city, with its endless noise and choking smoke, had worn her thin. When the lawyer's letter arrived, stamped, yellowed, and bearing her grandmother's name, she thought fate had finally opened a door. An old countryside mansion left entirely to her. It sounded like a fairy tale, somewhere she could breathe, somewhere she could start over. But when her car rattled along the last dirt road and the mansion came into view, she felt her lungs tighten instead of ease. It rose out of the mist like a carcass of stone, hunched against the sky, its windows black and deep as empty sockets. Dead ivy strangled its walls, and broken shutters swung in the faint wind with groans that sounded too much like voices. Even from the gate, Zara felt watched. Not by neighbors, there were none for miles, but by the house itself. She tried to laugh off the unease. "It's just big. Old," she muttered to herself, forcing the gate open. The hinges screamed in protest. "You'll get used to it." Inside, the air was stale, thick with dust and something sweeter, cloying, like wilted flowers left too long in a vase. Her footsteps echoed across warped wooden floors. The wallpaper sagged and peeled in long strips like skin curling from a burn. Chandeliers drooped under cobwebs. A staircase wound upward into shadow, its banister slick with age. Zara carried her single suitcase into what seemed like the living room. She lit one of the tall candles she'd brought. Its glow shivered against a cracked mirror over the mantel. For a moment, her reflection flickered, not following her movements exactly. She tilted her head. The reflection lingered, then snapped to match. Her chest tightened, but she whispered, "Old glass, just old glass." That night, she slept in a corner room on the second floor, curled under a thin blanket. Rain lashed against the windows. She woke around 3 a.m. to a noise, soft, steady, inside the walls. Tap, tap, tap. Zara held her breath. The sound grew into a whisper. She pressed her ear to the peeling wallpaper. The words were faint but clear. "You shouldn't be here." Her throat went dry. She stumbled back, knocking over the candle on her nightstand. By the time she relit it, the whisper was gone. The rain had stopped. The silence pressed in thick, and when she turned to the window, her stomach dropped. In the condensation on the glass, a word had been scrawled by an unseen finger. "Leave." Zara's hands shook as she wiped it away. She told herself it had been her own breath, her imagination. She forced herself back to sleep. But before her eyes closed, she thought she saw, in the mirror across the room, her grandmother's pale face smiling faintly from the shadows.